Hey everyone, Thunderbob here, and tonight I'm checking out Eye of the Temple First Steps. This is a new VR demo. It's kind of like Indiana Jones in VR. You got a whip, you got a torch, there's temples, and moving platforms. So just to start with, this uses like your whole play space. It needs about a 2 meter by 2 meter. It's about 6 feet by 6 feet for my fellow Americans. To really take advantage of it. And it uses these moving platforms in a really cool way. It lets you move around your play area without really moving. So like, you step on this platform and it takes you across the way. But I'm not really moving outside of this small area, but it feels like I'm crossing vast distances. There's a couple of games I can think of that have used this mechanic rather successfully. Unseen Diplomacy comes to mind, which is kind of like a spy thriller game that uses your play space in a really inventive way. Oh, I died. This has a really cool feature where it kind of guides you back to the center of your play space using this light. And you can also just look down and see where you're supposed to be, but there you are. Now you're back at the last platform you fell off of. Yeah, so Unseen Diplomacy is basically kind of the same thing, but in like a spy setting. You're going around this this area, and you have to like go through grates and ducts and stairs and ladders and all kinds of stuff, trying to get to the end of the level. Pretty cool experience. There was another one called Chrysalis Pyramid that I remember. It was a demo that came out really early on in the life of the Vive that used similar mechanics. You basically walked from platform to platform and ducked and avoided obstacles, and it was really, really early on, and it almost feels like a precursor to this. I wonder if the developer of this experience maybe saw that demo. But yeah, this is a really, really fun experience. Just the sense of movement when you're on these platforms, like, is astounding. The sense of scale and immersion, like, I really feel like I'm in another place. Though I'm not great at this whip yet. There we go. You kind of have to follow this bird. It kind of gives you some guidance, it seems. And the whip, you'll notice you can only really use it at certain points. So like it kind of coils up and you can't use it now. But when you get to platforms where it is necessary, it uncoils. So that kind of gives you a hint as to when you need it. Alright, let's get back. I don't think I can get anything out of that yet. I need the torch lit. And these rolling ones are pretty interesting. Because really, if you think about it, all they're here for is to move you, but also keep you in the center of your play space. So like if, a puzzle moves you out of the center area, as long as they set the room correctly, these moving ones, which you move backwards to utilize, you'll see I'm moving backwards here, always keep you in the center of your play space, which is really cool. The mechanics are pretty forgiving here. Like, I've died a few times, but it's mostly just because I forget that these are the ones you gotta move on. The other demo I was talking about, Chrysalis Pyramid, was not very forgiving. It was very... Man, I suck at this whip. It was very, very easy to fall off those platforms, even when you're trying to be very careful and precise. Okay, I think I need to get something to use this. I'll come back to it. Okay, I need 3 of those. The demo is really, really big too. I've actually played through most of this already. And it's surprisingly large for just a free demo. There are some areas locked off and a couple of puzzles I don't think you can solve in the demo. At least I can't figure them out. But yeah, there's probably 30 to 45 minutes of gameplay here, depending on how quick you burn through it. And there's also like a speedrun mode after you beat it that I noticed. So yeah, check this out, definitely. It's free, and it's really cool. I keep missing these gems, but I think they're just kind of like a high score mechanic. I'm not worrying too much about it. One thing also is this movement style tends not to cause people as much nausea as like you know, joystick movement, because usually nausea is caused in VR when you're moving in the game world but not in the real world. Your mind has kind of a disconnect where it feels like it's moving but your body's not moving, or your eyes give you an impression that you're moving. Here's some combat. But if you think about this, you're actually walking through your play space, and then other than that, you're kind of like riding on very slow moving platforms. And I played probably an hour of this and have not experienced any issues. Though if it's not everyone, I have pretty strong VR legs. Maybe like a boat or, you know, some other movement mechanic. Oh, damn it. I thought I was bending down far enough. And then it just starts you back at the last checkpoint. I do think that these platforms could get a little tiring after a while. Like, if this is the whole movement mechanic, it's cool for like a short experience, but I could see in like an 8-hour game, like, it would be nice to have some traditional movement also. But I'm sure you could introduce other things, like I saw Minecart. I have played this a couple of times. I did bang my head here several times my first playthrough. So you really have to duck pretty low to clear some of these. Be prepared for that. You need a decent sized play space. I do have puzzles, like it's something that I don't think would work outside of VR. This experience would, well, it might be fun. It would lose. You go up in the air, like you get a real sense of scale and size. My play space is about 20 feet long, like from my computer and my arcade unit to the opposite wall, and maybe 12 to 13 feet the other wall from the TV, and I've got a couch on the opposite side, so it's like maybe like 20 by 12 really usable space, but almost double what's required for this game. I suck at this whip. Yeah, I got it. But as far as VR whips go, this is probably my favorite whip, even though I kind of suck with it. You know, there's one in Rec Room for their like Castlevania kind of themed experience, and it's not. I cannot figure out how to use that whip. It's very stiff and hard to aim, but I've seen people really use it well. I cannot figure it out. Gems, gems, gems. There's more of these where you have to kind of dodge to the side as you progress. Woo! Got the things. So like, I've never left this little 6-foot area, 6x6 area, but I feel like I've traversed, you know, hundreds of feet, crossing, you know, streams and going in the air and solving puzzles. Like, it's something that I don't think would work outside of VR. Like this experience would, well, might be fun, like it would lose a lot in the translation to a flat pancake game, as they call it. It's the fact that it really feels like you're here in this physical place doing these crazy things that really makes it work. Alright. So this is kind of interesting here. It's like those Japanese, I think it's Japanese game shows where like the contestants have to contort themselves. It kind of feels like that. You have to dodge these pillars. I guess Beat Saber has something pretty similar to this too. Maybe Pistol Whip also. Made it. Alright. This is a big area. I feel like I might have missed some secrets here, but I reached the end of the demo without exploring all of these pathways. But I'm just going to show you kind of like the optimal way to the ending right now. If you go the other way, you do reach an area, but it seems blocked off. Like maybe you can go that way in the full game, but I could not figure out how to interact with anything. They use the mechanic of like the things coming down pretty frequently in the demo, but they do it in a couple different ways, so it keeps it fresh. I haven't tried going that way, but it seemed a dead end, but maybe I'm mistaken. I'll have to boot this up and try that way maybe next time, but I kind of wanted to show you what I think is the quickest way to reach the end of the demo. Some of these puzzles actually are kind of elaborate. Like they started out pretty simple and I wasn't expecting much, but they're pretty good. Okay. Eastern Outlook. I don't think you can actually do anything with the gems in the demo, maybe in the full game, but here they're more or less just like almost like a high score mechanic, it seems like. Yeah, first try. Okay, gotta go straight across. Let's see if I remember. So this thing will like spin, which I don't really want to do right now. I'm just showing how it works, because I still need to get across the way. I'm not good with this word. Walking. And you feel really, really high up there. The demo actually lets you get to that area, but it ends pretty much right there. Okay, so you hit this lever, the things go up, and then you gotta go this way. Then you gotta turn this thing again. It almost feels like they're kind of like Zelda puzzles, like not maybe as deep or as complicated as like the water temple, but like something in that vein where you've got to activate things and spin them and come out at the right angle, and it's pretty well done for just a demo. I wonder when the full version of this comes out too. I'm actually pretty excited to try it out now. Okay. There's another very clearly Indiana Jones inspired moment up here. It's really, really cool. Sometimes that's disorienting. I wonder if the developer of this has made other games or if this is the team, because the quality of this is quite high. I feel like the production values are pretty good. Music, the graphics, the puzzles, like everything comes together really well. Really surprisingly well. Right, moving backwards. Probably spent a lot of this video looking at my butt. I apologize. It's hard. You lose sense of direction in VR pretty easily. And I'm trying to get a larger amount of my play space, but the camera's not directly in front of me as a consequence of that. East Passage. Making sure I'm still recording. I've had some issues. Spikes. I don't like spikes. So this is a pretty Indiana Jones trope area. You'll see in just a second. I love how the lighting works with the torch, like the shadows and everything, and lighting up the corners of the room. Okay, here we go. Boop, 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 boop. I don't want to look up. I failed this a couple times before. You really gotta move fast, but basically the roof is coming down. You gotta get out of this area, and like physically you can see I'm ducking down. Watch. Oh. Yeah, that's so cool. Creaking Gorge. Alright. Now, this makes it look like the demo's huge, but it really does end right up here. Like, this tells me that this is kind of like a chunk of the final game, I'm assuming. Like it kind of just ends, and it's like, if you had the full version, you could keep going. Oh, back up. So I think this is probably just like cut out of the full version of the game. But even so, my first playthrough is probably like 30-35 minutes. This is a bit quicker, almost a speed run. I would definitely recommend checking this out. This is probably one of my favorite free VR kind of demo experiences. You can see X in full game, so you can't go down there. Gems, 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 gems. I'll have a link in the description. I would highly recommend, if you have VR, giving this a try. It's a really, really cool experience. There's not a lot of things like this, exactly like this in VR. There's some things that are similar, but this is just a really well done example of one of those. And here's the end of the demo. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, think about giving me a subscription. These aren't monetized, there's no ads, this is just for my own enjoyment. Sharing what I have a passion in. If you like my videos, yeah, give me a subscription. I've got other VR content on my channel. I've got retro games as well. I've got an arcade cabinet you can see in the background. I also do a lot of previews for new and upcoming games, stuff that's not even in early access yet. So check out a couple videos if you're interested. And thanks for watching tonight, everyone. I'll talk to you later.